Hello Capricorn, welcome to your fortnightly reading for May 17th through to the 31st. If you watched your monthly May practically soulful reading, you would have seen that I recently switched the weekly readings to fortnightly just to capture a more newsworthy energy timeline. I'm finding the 7 days are a bit too short in that sort of soul messages. You know, when it comes to healing messages and frequencies, you know, it takes a while for that subconscious stuff to integrate perhaps. So, you know, logistically, it's probably better that I do fortnightly readings. So if you haven't seen your May monthly reading, it is already up on the channel. If this is your first time here, thank you for watching. My name is Ali. I'm an intuitive energy healer. You can find out a little bit more about the work that I do with what I call my soul ascension healing and readings. The links below to my Facebook site and my web page address. So this channel is targeted to empaths, intuitives, sensitives, those that might identify that they're on an awakening path or journey. I offer fortnightly and monthly readings. Okay, so we've got a lot of energy happening in May now. Obviously, the May Scorpio full moon on May the 7th kicked off what is now currently 4 planets in retrograde, Cap. So what that means is we're going deep into the subconscious. We're learning about the rules, patterns, paradigms, restrictions, the ways in which we've been told how to, what should and shouldn't be, yeah? Thanks to Saturn in retrograde, we're going deep into the subconscious thanks to Pluto. We are exploring ways in which we have allowed opportunity to, you know, to enter our lives, how we've blocked it perhaps, how we deal with growth and abundance, which is, you know, it's important. And we've also got Venus in retrograde, which takes us through the timelines when it comes to all the wisdoms and lessons we've learned when it comes to love, and obviously what love is not. But more broadly speaking, when it comes to all connections and intimacy, yeah? Your theme for the final 2 weeks as we close out May is intimacy. It is our relationships that are our master classrooms when it comes to connection. And obviously the most important relationship, Capricorn, is the one that we have with self. It is here that we set the foundations, we set, even subconsciously and consciously, more so subconsciously, is within the relationship we have with self that we see that then reflected in the other, yeah, outside of ourselves. And I guess in our self-exploration journey, healing journey, whatever you want to call it, it is very common for us to sort of focus on what's going on externally. You know, that is the paradigm we have all been raised in, I guess, structurally speaking, when it comes to, you know, are we always taught to look within? Are we always taught to look without when it comes to rules and guidance and education? Yeah, I think primarily speaking, that's very much been what we've been taught for a very long time. You know, intimacy, in the words of Teal Swan, is about into me see. There's some beautiful and valuable lessons that the retrograde offers all of us when it comes to deeply going within and really discovering where we learned patterned behaviors, beliefs, fears even, that were never really ours to carry. You know, intimacy is a big theme for you, Capricorn, as you close out the final 2 weeks of May, and how perhaps open and vulnerable you give yourself permission to be when it comes to allowing another to see you for who you are. I keep thinking of that Japanese saying, you know, the Japanese have a saying that we each have 3 faces. On the outside is the one that we are comfortable to show the public. It's the one we show everyone. The second face underneath that is the one that we show only close family and friends. And it is the one further still underneath that we never truly show anyone at all. It is the one that we keep for self. And very few of us really explore how different that level of ourselves might be compared to the other two, yeah? I'm a big believer in the sanctity of privacy, and now that I don't have to share all aspects of myself with every single person that I come across. Does that mean I'm being inauthentic? No, I reserve the right to only share the parts of myself that I'm comfortable with sharing. You know, maybe on intuitive levels, we all know who we feel safe enough to connect in with, connect to share the different aspects of ourselves, yeah? However, you know, it goes without saying that challenges can arise if we're continually ignoring or not allowing ourselves to experience a level of ourselves, let alone not allowing someone else to experience that level of ourselves. So it is unique to the journeyer. It is unique to us all. Okay, my dear Capricorn, Ace of Swords over the Tower, in the past the Nine of Swords. Above this is the Nine of Cups. The Knight of Swords, the Nine of Cups. I know I speak too fast sometimes, and I think even watching some of the videos back, I realized that I'm looking at a card, or I'm thinking of what is to come, and I'm meant to be explaining a card that I'm holding, and I'm saying the other suit, for example, or I'm not speaking clearly enough to identify. So, but I intuitively read, so the message is free flow in that regard. I might not explain each card for their traditional meanings word for word, because I think, whose reading was it? It was Sagittarius's and Pisces that I did recently. You know, I think I was looking at the Four of Cups, and the Four of Cups has a traditional energy, meaning yes, in tarot. However, the way I was interpreting it in a whole new way, pertinent to the message that was trying to come out and be delivered for them. So I'll always intuitively read. But I just wanted to make that clear that that's the Ace of Swords. Underneath that is the Ace of Cups. What's likely to happen next is the Moon card. What's influencing you at the moment is the Lovers card, Capricorn, the Knight of Cups, the Emperor, and the outcome is the Six of Cups. Underneath all this is the Ten of Coins, my lovely Cappy. The Ten of Coins is the Dynasty. Now, make no mistake, I can clearly see here that I'm connecting into Capricorns out there. Whether you are Sun, Moon, or Rising, there have been distinct changes in relation to intimacy, the connection you have with a significant other. This can be the Emperor, the most important man in your life. If you are a woman, if you are a man, this is the role you play within your family dynamic and what you have learned since childhood. There is a return of the past, a past love, a past idea. Themes from the past have been coming up for review, and I think for many Capricorns there is sudden clarity about how we have always formed foundations based on a particular belief, idea, whether it is fear-based or courage-based or love-based, yeah? When it comes to connection and building structures that pertain to intimacy, love, family, marriage, all the beliefs you've ever had about marriage, commitment, connection, Capricorn, there's been a timeline here in the last, I think even since September last year, but I'm going to say the last 10 days have been particular. You know, you're wanting to rush ahead to that next level, or wanting to rush ahead to this new reinvigorating chapter within already existing connection, okay? For Capricorns that might be finding themselves alone, that you're definitely have gotten clear about what needs to go in order to get this new, I keep feeling this need and desire for a new reinvigoration, and it connects into the past. And I think the connection, I'm feeling the connection more so is about the, like I said, the rules, the structures, the boundaries, everything you've ever learned, you know, about what it comes to these things that connect us into this idea of connection, intimacy, trust, marriage, commitment, how the relationships that were modeled to us in the past, what they taught us. I feel like I'm talking to Capricorns that are getting very clear on what needs to be cut away, the influences that are not healthy, when it comes to building a solid foundation and a structure, okay? Now this can be anything. This can be what you have, what you come home to, your ideals when it comes to marriage, commitment, love, You know, getting your wish fulfillment is unique for us all. I feel like you are trying to rush something though, Capricorn, because in the past is the Nine of Swords. What crowns you is the Nine of Cups. You're just wanting to feel this sense of, you know, smugness is a word that's associated with this card, but it's probably not the right word that I'm looking for at this stage. You're wanting to rush towards a deep sense of emotional fulfillment. But there's a missing ingredient, and the reason I say that is because you've got the Nine of Cups and then you've got the Ace of Cups underneath. Something hasn't quite clicked yet, okay? Now, it hasn't quite made it to the Ten of Cups, because underneath everything, you've got this inspiration, this flush of new love, this desire for a flush of love to reinvigorate a current connection, a section of your life, your ideas and beliefs about love, intimacy, connection, marriage, yeah, family. There's a rush or a flush, if you like, a new inspired hope, vision, dream underneath everything. And your goal is this fulfillment. But in order to get that true emotional fulfillment, because the Nine is not quite there and the Ace has still a fair way to go, in order to get that true 10, there's something here that you may be intuitively missing, but it is also essential to start something new. And when I say new, that could be anything. That could be a genuine commitment to a refresh. You know, if it's within an existing connection, this is about falling in love again and remembering why. If connections have been falling away, because that has been a theme for many in the retrograde energy that we're all in, getting clear about what needs to be ended in order to begin to start seeking this emotional fulfillment. You know, I think it is very, very common, Capricorn, for all of us. Like I said, in the societies we have been raised, in the, you know, general consensus of religion, structure, order, whatever the case is, like there's this existing way in which we always seek outside of self, yeah? And so if I'm not happy, it's because my marriage is not working. If I'm not happy, it's because this is not working. This is about deeply going within, into me, seeing those three faces, you know, that I talked about, the three levels of us and self that I talked about. It's not until we get right with self that we can truly go out then and then experience that mirror in another. Hey guys, come here, stop. There's something that you intuitively know, but you haven't. Come here, please. Sorry. Come, don't bark. There's something you intuitively know, but you are not 100% crystal clear about yet. Okay, and I feel in many ways, in the closing 2 weeks of May, you're going to be making a head-heart decision when it comes to how you are truly going to step up to the plate and offer your cup of love, or you're going to be in review stage about the love that is being offered to you, about this offer of a new. This is new, make no mistake. There is new here. And like I said, take it however it resonates for you. This is a reinvigoration within an existing connection. This is someone connecting for the first time and realizing this new connection is something they want to take to that next level. You know, this is clarity and strong understanding of a deep bond that exists here. This Knight of Cups, he's come, male or female, he's come from a place of strong love and devotion, yeah? But in this position, he graduates to the Emperor. And this is essential, Capricorn. Whether we are male or female, the Knight is a youthful energy. Maybe I've had youthful ideas about what love should be, yeah? Should be. Based on what I was told, what I learned as a child, what I've been shown by society. I've had these youthful ideas, but then there's this divine knowing in a particular connection or within myself. once I've truly balanced head and heart, and this is the gift of Venus retrograde for you, Capricorn. Venus is currently in retrograde, and it's teaching us everything that we have ever learned. All of the connections that has ever crossed our path have been there and placed for a reason. It is within our love relationships that we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, to be open. Now, love is not just about intimacy and the intimate romantic connection. It is about intimacy, but it's not just about romantic connections. These are bonds that we open our heart and trust to. My music stopped playing because my battery went flat. The music stopped playing for you at some point, Capricorn, and your battery went flat. That's a significant message. This is a deep desire for reinvigoration of an existing connection. And even if you are alone, okay? The music stopped at some point in your journey and you truly weren't allowing yourself to open up and connect deeply. When was the last time you opened your heart so much so? I really want to turn that music back on. Just give me a minute. Let's see if that will start again. The music stopped and the battery, your battery, your life force, your energy, when it comes to this, because this is beautiful, like giggly, that youthful teenage optimism when it comes to what I'll be and who I'll marry when I grow up and the kind of love I'll have in my life. You know, male or female, there's a part of you, Capricorn, that's always wanted this beautiful dynasty. Yeah? Guys, just a minute, please. There's this part of you, Capricorn, that really just wanted this dynasty, this connection that feels like this divine, devoted love, you know, ride or die through thick and thin. And there's a wisdom within you, Capricorn, I keep hearing. There is a wisdom and a knowing within you that all of life and all of connections must go through cycles. Perhaps that's the disappointment there. That it is this push-pull that I keep feeling inside here. When we hit a low, when we hit a challenge, you know, there's a retreating that happens because of past wounds, I feel. There is this retreating that automatically happens within you, Cappy. But there is this other part of you that knows it must be pushed through thick and thin. I think I'm talking to many Capricorns that are reviewing their journey to date when it comes to what they've learned since childhood, what they've learned about love. What you've learned about love since childhood, Capricorn. There's the past and a past life, a past connection, the past in general. So patterning, behaviors, everything you were taught, learned, shown, experienced up to this point has been of purpose. When it comes to this Emperor energy, what is it about intimacy that makes you feel disempowered, out of control? Vulnerability truly is such a, to our head, it makes us feel like we are powerless, yeah? Completely open, raw, real, and vulnerable. And for so many of us, Capricorn, we experience those moments of pain and betrayal. Doesn't matter what point it's happened in the timeline. It might have been childhood, might have been with our first love or a significant love or last year, you know. There's a point, and there are many points in our timelines when we begin to keep retracting in fear, for fear of further pain. And I was only just talking about this last night in conversation, you know, it's that beautiful vulnerability that comes with children who know no better. You know, they cannot read social cues, they can't interpret the energy of intentions underneath people's words, so they can't hear criticism. They can't, unless something is very direct and specific, yeah? So apply that however it resonates. In that childlike essence, I could also say that some people are unaware because they're not listening to that frequency. Whether we pick up on social cues or not, all right? So in saying that, you know, to be vulnerable then, is it to be invulnerable so that we truly are empowered in that state, because it is the slings and arrows that cannot touch us then. In our deepest childlike, open-hearted vulnerability, we are actually invulnerable. We are indestructible, because there is this depth and faith of knowing that with an open heart, all we can truly see, hear and experience is love. When is the last time any of us felt like that? When is the last time any of us have felt unconditional when it comes to love, Capricorn? Because in his shadow element, like, I don't read reversals, I read intuitively. If he was reversed, in his shadow element, the Capricorn, sorry, that might be a relevant message, Cappy. He's represented by Aries. In his shadow element, the Emperor can be controlling. I had three thoughts flowing at the same time. You know, as the CEO, he's very much a Capricorn energy to me. As the Emperor, as a ruler of his kingdom, he has to be reserved. He cannot afford. There is too much to lose when it comes to being too open-hearted and vulnerable. There's many ways in which we can compartmentalize ourselves. We know when the time is right to be open-hearted and vulnerable, to open our heart to unconditional. And we know when we need to, you know, this childlike, beautiful innocence with our loved ones, our connections. But we also know when to put on our Emperor mask and play that role too, yeah? I feel like I'm connecting to Capricorns that have perhaps allowed the lines to blur sometimes, or maybe all the time. And I think it's about those deeper beliefs and fears that we may have when it comes to being unconditional in our love. Love is not an exchange. Love is not a business transaction. You know, this ride or die energy, this divinity when it comes to a true and genuine knowing of love and divine love in our life. I want you to take a look at the Lover's card. They see only each other. And the reality of our world, the reality of our experience of this journey, Capricorn, is we can experience divine love if we so choose. We can experience divine love if we so choose. But when, you know, even within this setting, we also know the truth of our society is that it comes with temptation, as depicted by the snake. It comes with temptation. How many times in my journey am I going to be tempted by my fears? That whatever this connection is, what this experience of love is, can't be the unconditional childlike hope that I once had in my youth. That I don't have that divine right to experience love in that form, because that's just not what life offers us. We've got these rules and boundaries and structures when it comes to the Ten of Coins, that's just how things are done. I feel like I'm talking to Capricorns that are resetting the timeline and they're really recreating their own deep structures when it comes to love, intimacy and connection, Capricorn. And in resetting the timeline, Capricorn, you know, I do see here that for the Capricorns that I'm connecting into, there is this deep healing, cathartic processing. You know, it's almost like you wanted to rush back into the past or towards the past or go back through the timeline to truly pull down any, like it's like you're wanting this start from scratch energy. When it comes to these beliefs of connection, intimacy, love that you hold inside that have been formed on foundations that were taught to you, shown to you, that society had this a connection, an idea, a belief, a whole lifetime of living and loving in a certain way, yeah? The fears that we have around vulnerability and the empowerment that comes with it too. I feel like I'm talking to Capricorns that have just allowed a structure, connection, this part of themselves to fall down, fall away. And we're getting crystal clear on what needs to be built from the ground up again. To start all over again, this falling in love again, this giving myself permission to fall in love the way I've always wanted to fall in love. That doesn't just have to be romantic. It could be falling in love with life, my purpose, my passion, my path, how I'm going to spend the rest of my days and with whom. How important emotional fulfillment is to you, Capricorn. You are the Emperor. You are this energy that is very busy building, achieving, succeeding, but emotions have really been calling you. There's a lot of emotion cards here. The Nine of Cups, the Ace of Cups, the Knight of Cups, the Six of Cups, and the Moon. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio might be relevant for you. You've also got some air signs here. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, they may be present in your chart. There's some coins here as well, when it comes to grounding. I feel like all the wisdoms that you're wanting to learn when it comes to your thoughts and deeper still your emotions, you're wanting to truly ground that down into this, the dynasty, family, commitment, marriage, long term, the future, from here on in. You're really assessing the learnings to date and everything that you have taken with you. And I feel like for some Capricorns feel like they're not quite there, whatever that means when it comes to all of this that's on the table. But you are manifesting that in. You are bringing it in, Capricorn, thanks to this Magician energy. Holy dooly. My goodness, loves. You've got the Ace. This is a marriage, a reinvigoration of an existing connection, a strong idea of what we want to move towards and away from. No more up late at night, stress, anxiety, feeling alone. Yeah, this is about choosing to move towards peace. Choosing to move towards peace. This is again another marriage card. Celebration, recognition of what I've allowed as far as my shadow elements and shadow influences that have tempted me in my life, away from my deeper beliefs of what love is and can be. This is moving away from, oh my God, you've just got your fourth ace. Did I tell you that this is a deep reset that you're experiencing? Like, I really want to know how many Capricorns out there are feeling this. Like, you're feeling like a whole new person, wanting a whole new invigoration. Maybe children are involved. Maybe there's news here that helps you really ground down into your divine feminine essence. The Queen of Pentacles represents the divine elements of you, the mother. Yeah, the mother that doesn't just love, but she's tangible in what she can provide. She's the mum you go to that, has the meal for you to take home plus some, anything else you need. There are new foundations here, Capricorn. You are crystal clear and you have 4 aces. Somebody's getting married. Somebody's taking their connection up to the next level. Someone is experiencing this metamorphosis, not just in their external connections and reality, but within themselves, most importantly, Capricorn. You have successfully moved away and are moving away from these toxic shadow elements. And now look, you can name your vice, name your label. This is how we believe about love, what we believe that we do and don't deserve when it comes to love, or what love can be toxic when it comes to us experience true and genuine open-hearted abundance. This doesn't just have to be toxic behaviors and what was taught and what we've seen and experienced or what we choose. But yeah, toxicity, this is what is toxic to me that ultimately blocks me from achieving and feeling all of this that I've always deeply wanted. I have not given myself permission to feel vulnerable on some level. And that can be toxic to me. That can be toxic to my heart and my soul truth, yeah? But this is also getting rid of and moving away from toxic connections, behaviors, ways of thinking and being. There's this, but it's also a commitment. What have I been committed to that hasn't sustained this, but sustained this other shadow element? What has gotten in the way of me truly committing to what I've always wanted? This quintessential fulfillment of emotions has been so important for the Capricorns that I'm connecting into. And it is when you dedicate to that realm of yourself, your emotional body, your emotional experience of life, all quadrants flourish. You've got the 4 aces. You will experience a reset and a rebirth in all areas of life. The magician has everything he needs. He has every symbol of the suits on the table. He has a cup, he has a wand, he has a coin, he has a sword. He is completely balanced from the 4 corners of the globe, 4 elements of self that he can now successfully connect into soul and ground that down. In my healing work, I talk about the 5 bodies. We are more than just a physical, which is represented by the coins. We are an emotional body, which is represented by the cups. We are a thought body, which is represented by the swords. We are an energy body, which I can say is represented by the wands. We are also a soul. For so many of us, we don't really familiarize, like true empaths, yes, sensitives, intuitives, yes. But there are many of us that don't give ourselves permission to truly explore the other 2 elements of ourselves that I mentioned, the energy body and the soul. In our very mainstream world, we're so used to our thoughts, our emotions, our physical reality. It has to be tangible, see it, to hear it, to believe it, yeah? You do not have any wands until I got to this wand. This is a spark of divine life. Birth of a child, birth of something new, birth of the new version of you. We cannot truly connect into transformative energy, yeah? Change energy, until we address that balance. You now have all your cards on the table and you are clear about what you want to manifest. This is huge, Capricorn. 4 aces. There are many frequencies that I'm picking up on when it comes to stories and timelines and how this healing affects the Capricorns that I'm connecting into. But this is deep, make no mistake. It is resetting timelines and storylines all the way back to past lives. You have cleared karmically. You are clear on what you want moving forward for here on in. There's a marriage, an engagement, a recommitting of vows. There's birth of children, birth of new chapters. This beautiful reset of emotions and this, like, remember when I said there's like this energy of you wanting to deeply rush into the past, to fix, to understand, to learn, to really explore your deeper motivations when it comes to intimacy, love, connection, yeah? What makes me happy? Because all this stuff on the outside I've achieved, Capricorn. You are amazing. You are the emperor in many ways. You are the CEO, male or female. You know how to build, succeed. But there was something missing, that you wanted to rush back and really go through life with a fine-tooth comb, yeah? To the point that you get to this alchemy, that you can get to the here and now, moving forward. This is genuine, open-hearted offering of love. This is who I am. After this journey, this is what I want to offer now. I know what I want offered to me, what I want life to offer me, what I will offer life. Yeah, when it comes to love, making commitments, opening and offering my heart, when others offer, watch how everything transforms. When we transmute and when we experience transformation here, it is a natural reflection that life reflects it back to us then. Watch how life no longer looks and feels like that. You will see evidence, because you are moving away from this old paradigm, this old frequency. It no longer resonates, Capricorn. I cannot keep saying anymore how much there is so much positive energy here on the table. And this is like a genuine, like you have done it feeling. You have healed that thing. You are taking yourself to that next level. I'm truly excited to see how you experience June, you know. You've really been working with some deep transformative energy. I can see that, and you know, off the top of my head from memory, you've been getting those sort of messages in your readings too. You've come out of a massive powerhouse of a cycle with Cancer, leading the ecliptical cycle of the last 2.5 years. You have eclipsed a lot, yeah, of what no longer resonates, what no longer fits in. This is your ecliptical cycle story. You know, this is not just about the last 2 weeks of May. This is everything you've integrated since that time that we kicked off that cycle in 2008. Yeah. This is beautiful. And what all of us have been learning is the way in which the divine feminine and the divine masculine have been taught to us. What is the role of a woman? What is the role of a man in partnership, connection? How do those energies play out within us? How do we allow them to play out in balance within us? It has been about divine love. It has been about divine love. And we have to review the journey to see how we've allowed ourselves to experience what divine love is not, within our fears, within our desire to hang on to deeper beliefs that we are not worthy even. Everything has happened exactly as it's needed to, Capricorn, to teach us what we know today. Yeah? And it is with a deep gratitude that we give thanks to the past. Because without it, we wouldn't be who we are. We wouldn't be who we are. This is such a beautiful love story, and the greatest love story starts with self. And just watch how that is just reflected in every connection, and the one you have with your family, friends, your children, your partner, your lover, your spouse. Apply it where it resonates. The greatest love story of all is the love story we have with ourselves. And when we merge our shadow side with our light side, our ego with our soul, true connection happens. And that has been the gift of the ecliptical cycle that you guys have had with Cancer. You are the father of the zodiac. Cancer is the mother of the zodiac. That has been the gift. Beautiful experiences of divine love within. That is your birthright. That is all of our birthrights, yeah? I can't wait to see how June goes for you. This is beautiful. Like I said, birth of children, marriage, engagement, connection, or at least if we were on our own, we know now what we want when it comes to how we feel in here, and that needs to be replicated outside of ourselves, yeah? So many beautiful frequencies and storylines I'm picking up on, Cappy. I could talk forever, clearly. I hope this message has offered some form of confirmation, healing and resonance for you. It looks like a beautiful final 2 weeks of May that will continue to integrate. No doubt this is reflective, like I said, of the last couple of years in many ways. Okay, if it does resonate, like, share, comment, subscribe, and hope to see you next time. Thank you for watching.